She was serving tables when his daughter said, "I like her, Daddy." Moments later, his offer changed her life forever. It was a rainy Tuesday evening at Miller's Diner, the kind of place where the smell of coffee and fresh pie lingered in the air, and regulars came for both the food and the familiar faces. Emily Carter, 24, stood behind the counter, balancing 3 orders in her mind while forcing a smile for the customers. Her apron was a little frayed, and there was a small tear in the seam of her shirt sleeve. But she didn't care about looks tonight, she needed the tips. Rent was due in 3 days. Electricity was on the verge of being cut off. And the stack of unpaid medical bills for her late mother's treatment sat on her nightstand like a weight she could never lift. Scene 1. The table in the corner. The bell over the diner's door chimed. Emily looked up and saw a tall man in a dark coat walk in, holding the tiny hand of a girl who looked about 7. The man was handsome in a quiet, unassuming way, no flashy suit, no loud voice. But there was something about the way he scanned the room, calm, deliberate. Emily grabbed 2 menus, plastered on her best service smile, and walked over. "Evening, folks. Table for 2, she asked. The little girl looked up with wide blue eyes and said shyly, "Yes, please." Emily led them to a corner booth by the window. As she handed them the menus, she noticed the little girl kept staring at her with a curious, almost glowing smile. Scene 2. A simple connection. While taking their drink order, Emily crouched to the little girl's level. "And what's your name, sweetheart?" she asked. "I'm Lily," the girl chirped. "And this is my daddy, Michael." Michael gave a polite nod but seemed distracted. Emily brought them water and coffee, then took their order: grilled cheese for Lily, a turkey club for Michael. Halfway back to the counter, she overheard the sweetest little voice behind her say, "I like her, Daddy." Emily smiled to herself, but what she didn't see was Michael looking at his daughter for a long moment, as though her words had just planted a seed in his mind. Scene 3. The struggle behind the smile. Emily moved quickly between tables, but Michael noticed things others wouldn't: how she rubbed her wrist like it hurt from carrying trays, how she kept glancing at the clock, and how her shoes had worn soles. When Emily returned to refill his coffee, Lily asked, "Do you like working here?" Emily hesitated, then forced a bright smile. "It's nice," she said softly. "I meet a lot of kind people." But the truth was different. She was working double shifts, barely sleeping, and eating whatever leftovers she could take home. Scene 4. The offer. When the meal was over, Michael paid in cash more than enough for the bill. Emily noticed the tip was unusually large, but before she could say anything, Michael handed her a folded piece of paper. "This is not just a tip," he said quietly. "It's an opportunity. My daughter's words mean a lot to me, and she's right about you." Confused, Emily unfolded the paper when they left. Inside was his business card, but not just any card. Embossed letters read, "Michael Reynolds, CEO, Reynolds Group International." Beneath it, a handwritten note: "Call me. I have a position I think you'd be perfect for. Better hours, better pay, and a chance to grow." Scene 5. The decision. That night, Emily sat in her tiny apartment, staring at the card. It felt too good to be true. What if it was a trick? But something in Michael's calm eyes and Lily's innocent smile told her it was genuine. She dialed the number. Within a week, she was sitting in a bright office, not a greasy diner. Michael explained he ran a charity division alongside his main business, and he needed someone with heart, patience, and a genuine way with people. Lily's approval had sealed the deal. Scene 6. A new chapter. 6 months later, Emily was unrecognizable, confident, well-dressed, and working as a project coordinator for community programs. She had her own small office, steady income, and even started taking night classes in nonprofit management. One afternoon, as she was leaving work, Lily ran up to hug her. "Daddy says you're family now," she said proudly. Emily smiled, tears filling her eyes. That one small sentence in a diner had changed her life forever. Moral of the story: sometimes the smallest voices see the biggest truths. One act of kindness, one moment of noticing someone's worth, can transform a life.